What's up guys, my name is Devin and welcome back to another episode of Footballrs. In today's video, we're going to be unboxing and reviewing the Under Armour Blur Smoke 2.0 MC Suede football cleats. We did review these cleats last year, but since then, Under Armour's taken these cleats back into their lab, made a couple small tweaks, and brought out a new pair for 2024. So a lot of the stuff is going to sound familiar. We figured we'd bring you guys another review video just in case you guys were going to buy the updated 2024 model. All right, guys, here are the cleats we're going to be taking a look at today. Again, these are the Under Armour Blur Smoke Suede 2.0 MCs. I haven't taken a look at these, so I'm very excited. You do get just your regular Under Armour box, black and white, UA logo, Under Armour logo there, Under Armour logo there, but you guys don't care about the box. Let's get into the cleats. All right, guys, so here are the cleats. These are Under Armour's more affordable speed football cleat. We already reviewed the Spotlights, which come in at $130, and I believe these come in at about $110. Let me check the box. So these MSRP is at $110 for these, so a little bit cheaper. I'm pretty excited to see how these stack up against the Spotlights and see if they really should be 20 bucks cheaper or if they perform about the same. First thing I want to talk about is the upper and the overall design of the cleat. These are clearly a speed-oriented football cleat, and they look really good, especially in this colorway. They are listed as a suede colorway on the box, but I don't see or feel any suede on here whatsoever. This material is not suede, it's like a synthetic plastic material. Okay, so I've looked a little bit closer, and part of it I think is suede. So the part that's like, it's really tough to pick up on camera. I don't know, maybe you guys can see it. Some of it is suede and then some of it is like a plasticky material, but it's not as suede as the last suede football cleats they dropped. So very different, but I mean, I still can kind of see some of the suede. Like this part, right, it's so hard to show you, but this part right here is suede, but then like the darker black is not suede. Not exactly what I expected for sure, but kind of cool. Then you get this big color changing UA logo here. It's like a bluish purple, kind of changes depending on what light. And you got these super fast looking lines there along the side. Now on the inside of the cleat, you still get some of that suede-ish material here, but then you get a iridescent Under Armour logo. So you guys can see kind of has that cool like oil slick rainbow effect to it. And then this material, I'm not really sure what it is. It's weird. I don't really know too much about it. Of course, we'll do full research before we do the full review part of this video. Kind of unique. Next thing I'm noticing right away is that the lacing system is a little bit off-center. So you guys see this a lot on soccer cleats or football, wherever you guys might be watching this video. But it's a little bit off-center. I'm not really sure what the benefits are to that. Kind of see it kind of on a lot of speed cleats, again, especially in soccer. So that's definitely something to note. The lacing system doesn't really seem to be anything spectacular. It just kind of goes into the side pieces. So when you tie them up, it just pulls the cleat like any other shoe or cleat. So on the front, you do get this stretchy material actually in the tongue. So this is a front loop, and then let's see, the material is the same in the heel loop. So this entire cuff is made out of a stretchy material. I want to say this is their thread lock. I can't be sure. Like again, I'll do full research before getting into the video, but it's very stretchy. So you guys should have no problem, you know, stretching this and getting your foot right in there, no problem. Definitely unique though. Not really sure what this is right here. Maybe it's just covering a seam or something. Or maybe it's a design thing. I don't really know what this little guy is. Probably doesn't make a difference. And also same thing with this like little fin. Definitely a speed-oriented football cleat, but it does look kind of silly, kind of coming off the back. Kind of reminds me of like a Batman style. So the next thing I want to take a look at is the padding, and check it out. These things have a huge ring of padding in the back. So something Under Armour has always kind of struggled with is padding in the heel of the cleats, and these have a ton, but it seems to just be in like a halo shape kind of around that area, and then down below it there's nothing. So what I can gain from that without trying them on is that this is really going to lock the bottom of your foot into that heel position, but you still could get blisters from the back where there's no heel. So even right now I can feel like that back heel cup right there, and your foot is going to be up against that, your heel especially, so you might get some blisters. Again, got to try them out to see for sure, but I just think they need a little bit more padding kind of below this initial ring, so it kind of helps give you a little bit more cushioning in the back. So as far as the overall construction, there's no inner booty or anything like you saw on the Spotlights. It's just one piece all the way around, and again, this threadlock material up here, and then just this upper material is what you're up against inside the cleat, so definitely keep that in mind. Let me take a look at the insole. We love looking at insoles here. These are glued in. The Spotlights weren't, but these are, see some of the glue there. But this is an updated insole. It's a little bit different from what we saw on the Spotlight, I think. I'm not really sure what this is called. We will do the full research, but it's got some cool details. You've got the UA logo here, some arrows. It says burners engaged here and cooling activated here, Under Armour logo, and then a little warning thing, and then high performance right there. So this is a super light insole. You guys can see it's kind of aerated. So let's see, can you see? Yeah, you can see right through it. Super thin, super lightweight, and it was glued in before I just yanked it out. Before I put it back, in case you guys are kind of curious, kind of on the inside of what's underneath there. Some people care about that stuff. It's always fun to look at. Let's take a look at the traction plate. So this is the same traction plate we saw on the last edition of the Blur Smokes. It kind of has this unique shank that runs through. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 circle studs up front and then 4 circle studs in the rear. And then you do get 3 smaller teeth in here along with this really strange shank. So what I learned from the last Blurs with this Spotlight is the shank kind of gives it some support. So like these are very stiff, and that could be their downfall ultimately, because sometimes stiff cleats hurt your feet after a while, and these do not have a ton of flex to them. Definitely a lot less than the Spotlights. Let me grab a pair. I remember liking this traction plate quite a bit. It felt pretty good. These spikes, again, they're circle studs, which usually aren't my favorite, but they do have some side teeth. I'm not really sure if they do anything. And then you have this piece right here, which gives it a lot of kind of rigidity and support. So that's definitely something to keep an eye on. Also, here's a good look at kind of that off-center lacing system. Not really sure if it's a design thing or if there's a reason that they did it, but I am excited to test it out. All right, guys, there you have it. There are kind of my first impressions and thoughts on this cleat. Can't wait to see how it looks in the sun for the try-on, and then I will get into the full review. Let's do it.
This whole month is brought to us by Q-Collar. The Q-Collar is revolutionary, proven technology to help protect the brain from repetitive head impacts that you likely aren't thinking about when you play, but do add up over time. I can't cover it all here, so make sure to check out our full video that explains everything you need to know about the Q-Collar and how it can help you. You can see that even more guys around the NFL are starting to choose Q-Collar, like Baltimore Ravens' Derrick Henry and Buffalo Bills' Dalton Kincaid have both adopted to wearing it to help keep them safer and on the field. These days, getting a brand new helmet can cost you well over $1,000, which is not easy for any of you guys or even any parents out there to do. Plus, the Q-Collar protects the brain in ways a helmet just can't. If you're interested in taking further steps to protect your future, check out Q30.com to check out the Q-Collar.
All right, guys, so now we're gonna get into the review part of the video for these cleats right here. There's a couple different things we're gonna look at. We're gonna look at the comfort, the fit and support, the traction, the style, what position these cleats are best for, and of course, the price. The first thing we're gonna talk about is the comfort of the Under Armour Blur Smoke 2.0. Just like the pair we reviewed last year, these are incredibly comfortable. These cleats have 2 heel loops, one on the front and one on the back, so sliding these on is super easy. This material is really stretchy, so it's easy to get your foot in there. Not really sure if that counts as a comfort thing, but I like to talk about it anyway. Next up, when you put these cleats on, they have like a sock-like feel, and that's because of this sockish material, the stretchy material that you guys see in the ankle collar. Feels really nice around your entire foot. Now that material is the part that covers the higher part of your foot. Now for the rest of your foot, they went with a thin TPU material that feels very nice on the top of your foot. It's pretty lightweight, but it's also super flexible, so it moves pretty well with your foot. It just keeps the cleat feeling super low profile and clearly speed oriented. Now, as far as the really good comfort goes, I think a lot of that comes from the elite padding in the heel. These have a massive horseshoe of thick padding around your ankle that just feels really good and kind of locks your foot into place inside the cleat. In the past, people have had issues with Under Armour cleats and getting blisters, but I don't think that's going to be a problem with these because of all the padding back there. There is a little bit of area where it kind of puts you up against the heel cup of the cleat, but I don't think it's going to cause too many issues. Another key contributor to the comfort on these is going to be the updated insole. In my eyes, when it comes to insoles, nobody else, Nike, Adidas, whoever, does not do a better job than Under Armour. Now on the website, they call this insole their High Rebound Perf X insole, which is the same one they had listed on the pair that we reviewed last year, but they did tweak it. This one is a little bit different, so definitely keep that in mind. Not sure if it's the same material, but it feels pretty similar, but it also feels a little bit lighter. Either way, these are super cozy and do a great job absorbing impact with every step. And overall, top to bottom, these are probably some of the most comfortable cleats from Under Armour and easily one of the most comfortable cleats on the market for 2024. The next thing we're gonna talk about is the fit and support. You guys might remember from last year's video, but these cleats are strongly based off of a track spike. They have a super soft, flexible upper and a very tight fit all around the cleat. The combination of that TPU upper material and the knit collar gives the cleat a lightweight, secure feel on your foot. Last year I said that the toe box felt a little bit crowded, but it seems this is one of the small tweaks they made. I felt like when I tried these out, there's a little bit more room in the toe box, so these are kind of catered to everybody instead of guys with just a narrow foot now. Now the laces on these are a little bit different from what we see from traditional football cleats, but you do see this a lot in soccer cleats, and that's going to be the off-center lacing system. They still lace up pretty normally and they give you a nice tight fit all around your foot, so it doesn't really seem to make too much of a difference, but it's something to note. Now as far as the support on these, you've got a pretty thin upper and some solid padding in the heel, but that's about it. Again, they're inspired by a track spike, so they're meant to get you to your destination as fast as they can in a straight line. No support needed. Overall, these are a really tight fitting pair of football cleats all around with minimal support. They're basically going to be the closest thing you can get to a track spike on the football field. The next thing we're going to talk about is the traction plate. Now these cleats have the exact same traction plate as the original Blur Smokes and last year's 2.0s. And again, this cleat is built like a track spike with this traction plate. The traction plate has 9 studs in the front, 4 in the back, and then 3 smaller interior studs, and then also some side teeth that you don't really notice. This plate also has this long shank that kind of runs through the entire middle of the cleat, which gives the cleat some serious rigidity and support when making cuts. The plate itself is also pretty snappy, and the studs are placed on the outermost part, so when you go to cut, that's kind of the first thing hitting the dirt, so you can get in and out of cuts quicker. Now, one thing I'm always skeptical about with Under Armour cleats is the studs. They have been kind of known for breaking on a lot of their models, and these ones kind of have this weird rubbery feel. You can actually kind of move them with your hands, so that is a place for concern for sure. But overall, these seem to have really good traction in grass and probably in turf as well. I didn't test them on turf, only grass, but I assume it's going to be a pretty similar feel. But yeah, the plate itself has a nice snappy feel, and the studs are placed on the outermost parts of the foot, so you can get in and out of cuts nice and quick. The next thing we're going to talk about is the style. Now, I honestly love the design on these. I loved them last year, I love them this year, and this suede pair is pretty sweet. These cleats were clearly designed with speed in mind. You kind of can see that streamlined design all the way throughout the cleat. Even the back kind of looks like a little Batman wing or something. It looks pretty sweet. And then new for 2024, they've added a suede pair. So I kind of talked about it a little bit in the unboxing, but it's not fully suede. It's like half suede in this kind of unique pattern that kind of goes throughout the entire upper. It's pretty cool. I am curious to see how it kind of holds up against time, but the end result is a pretty sweet looking pair of football cleats. As far as colorways, I think these have about 12 different team colorways, and then they also have some limited edition colorways as well. But yeah, overall, these cleats are full of some really cool details. I love the suede, and the colorways are pretty sweet as well. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is what position these cleats are going to be best for. These are a skill football cleat made for the fastest guys on the football field. Running backs, wide receivers, DBs, these cleats are for you. Like I mentioned, they're basically a track spike on a football field. So if you guys want something lightweight and built for speed, these are it. But yeah, these are skill cleat through and through. I don't want to see any linemen in these because they have no support and you will hurt yourself. The next thing we're going to talk about is the price. These cleats retail for $110, and then the limited edition colorways are $120. So last year, these cleats were actually $120, so they actually dropped them down $10, which is pretty nice. $110 is kind of a hair below kind of the average going rate for a pair of football cleats, so I think these are a great deal. Another cleat from Under Armour, the Spotlights we reviewed earlier in the season, go for $130. So these being at $110, I think these are a much better bang for your buck because I honestly think I'd rather wear these than the new Spotlights. Like I mentioned earlier, the only real concern with these is the durability. So for $110, you want a pair of cleats that last you all season, and Under Armour is notorious for these studs breaking off. So that's definitely something to keep in mind if you guys want to get these cleats or any other cleats from Under Armour. Overall, these are easily my favorite cleats we've reviewed from Under Armour in the last couple of years. They're a lightweight, streamlined football cleat that does a really good job and performs really well on the field. These are definitely one of the better skill cleats on the market, and at $110, probably the best bargain you're going to find for a skill football cleat. All right, so there you guys have it. There's the full unboxing review on the 2024 Under Armour Blur Smoke 2.0 Suede Edition. Hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, like the video, comment what you guys want to see us review next, and subscribe for more content just like this. My name is Devin, and thank you guys so much for tuning into another episode of Footballrs.